Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Remember, if the body can get sick, it can also get well. Lifestyle is the medicine. So the choices that we make every single day can and will determine the kind of health we're going to have. So we want to help you. No matter what you're struggling with, we want to see you live your potential. Why? Because you have an amazing potential. And a lot of times people don't tap into it. Matter of fact, most people don't tap into it. They don't live the life they were designed to live, the life that they could live. And really the greatest life comes down to you maximizing everything that God's given you so you can do great things. It is true. 888-283-7272. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. If you haven't picked up a free copy of our best-selling book, it's a hard copy. We'll send it to you for free. I just decided to do that, help, encourage people. All you got to do is cover the shipping. There's a little bit of cost there to get it to you, but we'll cover the book. We pay for it. It's almost $30 book. We just send it to you for free, and we want to see you live better. And it's got the tools in there that really will take you from where you are in your current state of health to where you need to be. Let's kick off and go with Allison. Hi, Allison.
I'm dealing with dry eye. I'm 35, and it's degenerative. And I also was recently diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I have Epstein-Barr. I had mono at one point.
Yeah, that's a whole different deal. And when you got dry eye, many, many times, a lot of times it just seems like it's random, but it's not. And you want to get a test done for fatty acids. There's different types. There's the omega-3, 6, and 9 fatty acids. You get those checked out, see what the balance is and the ratios. A lot of times there's such a severe omega-3 deficiency that's where the dry eye comes from. And when you get on heavy amounts of fish oil or cod liver oil, it really begins to change that. And a lot of times the skin conditions that we deal with are omega-3 deficiencies as well. So they really go hand in hand. The dry eye and the fatty acids are almost, they dance together. So I would get it checked out. We get a blood test done. If you can't find one, just touch base with our provider team, and we can easily help you get one there in your area. Pretty simple. It's a simple test, but it gives you great information. Plus, you can see trans fat levels in the blood and see exactly what's in the cells to see what you need. And dry eye is just not some weird genetic thing. It's definitely nutritionally related, and the body is not getting something that it needs. So I would look at those tests in that way, or have someone look at those tests so that way you can know exactly what's going on. Okay, and please keep us posted. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. I'm Asa, your host. Check us out on the web. Go to asarx.com. It is the prescription, really, the RX, to help you live better. We want to see you live better and see you thrive in everything that you're doing. You have a potential. You got to tap into it. That's what this thing is all about. All right, what about nuts? Almonds, cashews, walnuts, macadamia nuts. Those are my favorite. Well, if you like them, it doesn't seem, and you think, well, they're going to put a bunch of weight on you. Well, there's probably a new way of looking at it now. So they looked at nut consumption, and they found that it can actually cut your risk of death. This is a 1 ounce serving each day, showed a 20% reduced risk of dying from any cause over 3 decades. So we looked at nut consumption. They said 119,000 Americans over the past 30 years. Dr. Charles Fuchs, who's done this study, it's a study that was done by the U.S. National Institutes of Health and, of course, the International Tree Nut Council, Nutrition Research. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But it was all published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Nuts are nutrient-dense foods, according to certain information, unsaturated fatty acids, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Well, previous research has linked nut consumption to a lower risk of heart disease, as well as improvements in the risk factors for heart disease, like high cholesterol, according to the study. Well, researchers looked at how nut consumption might affect all causes of death, as well as whether nuts were linked to death risk from specific conditions like heart disease. But the study concluded that more than 76,000 women from Nurses Health Study and more than 42,000 men from the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study, anyone with a history of heart disease, stroke, or cancer was excluded from the study. Nut consumption was verified in the study, and they looked at it. But the researchers said at the bottom line, we know that over a 30-year study, people who had or ate nuts on a regular basis, at least 1 ounce, kind of like a handful, cut the risk of dying. So pretty amazing to see that. Eating more nuts was linked to a lower risk of death due to cancer, heart disease, and respiratory disease. A new study uncovered the association between eating nuts and living longer, but it didn't prove cause and effect, just so you know they always have that. So the serving size for 1 ounce is usually about 16 to 24 almonds, 16 to 18 cashews, or about 30 to 35 peanuts. So people who ate nuts tended to be healthier overall, according to the study. They were leaner, had lower rates of obesity, had lower cholesterol, had less high blood sugar, and had smaller waist circumferences, ate more fruits and vegetables, and exercised more than people who ate fewer or no nuts. So Fuchs and his team controlled the data to account for these factors. And one expert said that people who are eating nuts aren't eating instead is also important. Study adds to the research that nuts are part of an overall healthful diet, especially if you're choosing to have nuts instead of chips or candy. I totally agree. I mean, people say, well, I want to stay away from the chips and all of that, and you go for the nuts, but then you continue to crave the junk food. Go ahead and get the sea salted nuts. They make those. I mean, it's not that much. And when you do the salted nuts, again, sea salted, not roasted with oil, can't do those. But they have natural organic nuts that are, the way they're processed and produced, they just have some sea salt with them. But that salt really does cut the craving for like French fries and chips. It brings in that same level of satiety that you need. And so it really does. It makes a big difference. So a lot of times I'll say, if you're really, really hungry, grab a handful of like almonds or cashews or macadamia nuts and eat them. Wait about 5 minutes and you'll notice you're not hungry at all. And a lot of times the body craves fat because we don't eat enough. We really don't, because we got freaked out in the 80s and 90s about fat because it was like high carb, low fat, and now we're in a diabetes crisis because of that nonsense. But I would just encourage you, though, the nuts are great. And it's something that we use, I use and implement every single day in my eating routine. We do it in our coaching systems with all of our clients around the country. Our providers that are in our local areas, they use them in their protocols as well. It's just, it's unless you're allergic to them, it's a given. It's something you should have every single day. Really makes a big difference. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Lines are open. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. Now, coming up, we've got some more questions about your health we're going to jump into. And don't forget, get a copy of my free book. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. That's myfreehealthbook.com. It's my hard copy bestseller. We're going to send it to you for free, absolutely free, to be a gift to you, $30 value. And all you got to do is cover a little bit of shipping, okay? We want to see you live better than you ever have. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. Check us out on the web. Go to asarx.com. There you can find everything you need. If you're looking for a provider in your area or you just need some help, want to send us an email, jump on our social media and engage with everything we have going on. And Healthy University is really, really cool. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's our teaching system. It's an online teaching system. Basically, it's a platform you can go on. And there's 16 different sections that you go through. It teaches you everything about health from A to Z. We've got a small group that meets on Facebook. It's private. Everybody is so engaged. It's awesome. So if you were looking for a support group and you live in a place where you don't really have that, and you're wanting to lose weight, get healthier, live your potential, kind of like our crowd here, then I want to encourage you to look at Healthy University, joining that, getting into the Facebook group, and then also I teach inside of there, very exclusive teachings. I jump on and answer personal questions and really engage with everybody there. So that's our posse, that's our tribe, if you will, and we'd love to have you. So Healthy University is, you can go to Asa Rx and find that there if you want to jump in. It's really, really cool. We're having a great time with it. Walt in Greensboro, North Carolina, he said, I was wondering if you had some ways to help with dry scalp. And again, when I talk skin conditions, anything, dry scalp, dry skin, psoriasis, eczema, you start talking about dry eye, anything along those lines, you start thinking about two things. You start thinking about the gut, and is there inflammation building up there that shouldn't be there? But more than that, you've got to really think about omega-3 fatty acids. It's one of the most efficient things that we have next to magnesium in the body, and we just don't have enough because most people don't eat fish, and that's about the best place to get it from. I mean, you can get it from squash, but I mean, who sits around and eats squash all day, right? So it's kind of one of those that you have to be real strategic to get it. Or you can supplement with it, which I think it's important to do both because the level that you really need for good health is pretty high, and there's no way we get it with our standard diet. It's just like impossible. So I would look at that. There's a test that we do, our providers do, for all the fatty acids. It checks the profiles, the ratios. If you need that, just let us know. But with a dry scalp, you got 9 times out of 10, it's going to be fatty acid deficiency, like almost always. So you can sit there and get the shampoos and the creams and the lotions and the potions and hope for the best and cross your fingers. You can take medications. It's going to put the symptoms maybe at bay a little bit, but the root cause, which is what I'm all about, I like the root cause. I don't want to sit around and dangle on the branches. I want to get down to the root of what's happening with me or anybody else. So that's just something to think about. Fatty acids usually is the key on that, okay? 888-283-7272. Give us a call. Check out myfreehealthbook.com if you don't have a free copy of my book. If you don't have my book yet, you better go there. Like, all you do is cover the shipping. It's a $30 hardback book. I'm giving it to, like, everybody. Like, it's just, like, literally we can't even keep them in stock. I had to order more. I had to bring them into our warehouse. It's unbelievable. They've been flying out the door, which is cool. That's what I want. I want you to have it in your hand because I really believe it'll transform your life. It is a comprehensive but yet so easy to read. We've got so many great reviews on it. And just go check it out. myfreehealthbook.com. Pick up a copy of it. And it really, if not, get it for yourself and get it for a family member, a friend, somebody you know struggling. I mean, it's a few dollars of shipping. It's like nothing. So get that and be blessed with it, okay? Let's jump on and go with Genesis. Hi, Genesis. Great name. Cool name. I like that.
I have a rare condition called Eagle syndrome where the ligaments in my neck are calcified. There are 3 sets we have, and mine are the thyroid process from the base of the skull to the hyoid where I swallow. And named after a physician who found it back in the 1800s, and the only thing they did was prescribe laudanum. I've been to all specialists. I've been to the Asa in Vanderbilt to see the stars. I went to the oral surgeons. They're the ones that would take care of it. It's really not an option now. It would be grave to do that. Not a good outcome. And they're like, maybe millimeters to my carotid artery, pressed, giving me trouble in various ways. I have trouble swallowing. It's a calcification issue, ligaments, and the thyroid process.
And I'll tell you, darling, that's a tough one. It is. And I hear it in your voice, like it's a tough one, right? So there's some success that's happened with vitamin K2 and the calcification process, even when there's genetic components involved. And again, I always talk about genetics being like 5 or 10%. Well, this is one of those conditions that falls in that category. The genes and the DNA are just, the switches are flipped on, and it's not anything you can really turn off. However, I'm all about what can you do. It's not what you can't do, right? So there has been some success. Anytime there's overcalcification of any level in the body, vitamin K2 tends to unravel that a little bit. Now, is that going to? We don't know. It's kind of like stem cells. They work for some people and they don't for others. They'll take with some people and they don't with others. So is it going to hurt you? No. It can only help, right? So that's the good thing. I mean, vitamin K2 is a vitamin. And we don't really get it from much of anything, so you have to take it supplementally. And there's a real good version of that. If you go to our website, we have it. But you can get it at health food stores, anywhere. Just make sure it's a good quality. And a vegetable capsule. Don't get a hard cap. That can be helpful. But get your vitamin D levels checked too. And I'm sure they've done that with all this going on. Like, surely they've checked your vitamin D. But you want to make sure it's at a good number. You don't want it too high, but you definitely don't want it below 60. So your sweet spot probably between 65 and 85. And you want to talk to your doctor and make sure they're okay with those numbers. But that for the typical and the average, for everything in the body to be working effectively in the way that it needs to, yeah, that's the best way to do it. It really is. And I would encourage you, look at your overall eating strategy, because it's like with anything else. I mean, even if it's heart disease or diabetes or whatever, you want to make sure you're doing everything you can. Like, you want to be able to move your body as much as you can. Like, I get it. You're in a tough situation right now, but you want to find what you can do, not what you can't do. Right? We get so focused on what we can't. Let's focus on what we can. But get some chemistry done, blood chemistry done, that looks at all the different nutritional variances and deficiencies. Our providers can help you if you need help with that. But just get someone to dig in and go deep on the nutrition, and I think you'll find some great success there. Okay? Thanks so much for the call. 888-283-7272. This is Asa Rx. Did you know that you can listen to the Asa Rx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. So glad you're with us. Go to check us out on the web. Go to asarx.com. If you haven't checked out our site, you need to. Everything you need is there. Our providers are there. Healthy University is there. And our free book that we're sending to you, the hardback copy, my best-selling book. Go to myfreehealthbook.com, myfreehealthbook.com, and we'll send you a copy. You just got to cover a few dollars on the shipping. No big deal. We send you a $30 book for free. Hey, it's a sweet, sweet deal. Plus, it's helping people. That's what I love about it. I mean, they're flying out the door. I cannot believe, since I started this, how many copies are going out the door. Like, it blows my mind. And it was a bestseller. I mean, it's a best-selling book. I mean, we've had like hundreds of thousands of copies sold. So I want to say thank you for digging in and responding and wanting to be better. I think that's the part that blows me away. It's not that books are going out. It's that when somebody reaches out for a book, they want information, right? They want to learn something. They want to get better. And this show's all about helping you get better. That's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm giving that to you. It's a gift, because I want to see you get better. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you do well. I want to see you crush it and not just barely make it. I want to see you really live some life and live it to your fullest potential. I think we all do. I mean, here at our company, that's what we want for you. And we want to see you do it and do it really, really well. 888-283-7272. Give us a call. All right, let's get on the phones. I know you're waiting there. Let's talk to Autumn. Hi, Autumn.
I'm interested in finding out the solution for extreme hair loss in the crown of my head as a female. I've heard various things, DHT buildup, thyroid issues. I've gone from having a wonderfully full head of hair to a very sparse accumulation of hair, specifically in the crown of my head. Kind of like the male pattern baldness that men have. So I'd like to find out, what can I do to reverse that situation?
Right. So there's a couple things you can do that can really, really help. One is we got to figure out, there's usually a metabolic condition going on. It typically can be the thyroid. It could be one step behind that, which is the pituitary gland. A lot of times the pituitary gland drives the thyroid, and it's kind of the thyroid's typically secondary issue. But there could be several things going on. You could have deficiencies with iodine. You could have multiple things. There could be an issue with your testosterone receptors. There could be an issue with blood sugar and hypoglycemia, and there could be other conditions. I mean, there's so many. I could sit here for probably 5 minutes and go, could be this, could be this, could be this. Bottom line is, you got to figure out what it is. Could be something as simple as a mineral deficiency or several of them, but get some testing done. Bottom line, you got to get some testing done. And I would encourage you to get nutritional testing done that looks at the different variables and if the body has any nutritional deficiencies or not. Because that's where you really want to go. You want to see if the body really has that or if it doesn't. Because the bottom line, if it does, then it's pretty easy to replenish. You just got to figure out what it is. And whenever you start seeing symptoms like that are just weird and not normal, it's great that you're asking me a question, because I love that you're digging in. You're like, what is going on in my body? Wasn't always this way, right? So the testing, the power's in the blood. Power's in the blood. I mean, life's in the blood. The numbers are powerful. Numbers don't lie, right? So the numbers are the numbers. So it's good to find that out. So get with one of our providers or get someone that can help you get that facilitated, and that can be a big help. But typically it's a deficiency that's causing that. And usually it can be rectified. You just got to figure out what system is being affected and what the driver is. Not hanging out in the symptoms and just taking a medication. Not that you might not need medication, but you got to dig deeper at some level to figure out what triggered that. And when you get down to the trigger, that's when you can really get some good work done. Okay. Thanks so much for that call. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call. You can go to the website, go to asarx.com. So when somebody has a heart attack, what do you think is one of the best ways to recover? Like eating better? Yeah. Most people get freaked out and they start eating really well. They maybe lose some weight and they start exercising. The hardest thing to do is get people to exercise. It really is. It's like the hardest thing to do is get people to exercise, and they just don't. So this is a really cool way of doing that and not having a heart attack. But the cool thing that we're talking about right now is your outlook and your mentality. And I have seen this in practice so many times, I can't even tell you. That when somebody has a negative outlook, they're discouraged, they don't believe in themselves, they don't believe they're going to get well, they don't. I've seen them have second heart attacks. So you really got to watch your mindset. And I got to tell you, some people are just negative by nature. Like it's their nature to be negative. So you really have to watch that too, because when you get negative like that, it's a big deal. And it will make you get to the point where your body can get sick just based on you being negative. So I would really watch that. That's one thing I would jump in on and totally make an impact. Because at the end of the day, your attitude determines everything. But they're saying that having an optimistic attitude after a heart attack, Harvard did this study. 2 weeks after a heart attack, patients who had a positive attitude were less likely to be readmitted to the hospital. This is where they found that, right? So after 6 months, these patients were more physically active than less optimistic patients, the study found. In contrast, gratitude assessed right after the heart attack actually had no effect on readmissions or increasing physical activity, said lead researcher Dr. Jeff Huffman, who's an assistant professor of psychiatry at Harvard. So for the study, Huffman and his colleagues really looked at this, and they found that, which is interesting, in 164 patients, they assessed the patient's optimism and gratitude 2 weeks after a heart attack, and again 6 months later. The findings suggested that all positive emotional experiences may not be alike when it comes to the potential effects on heart health. So it may be optimism as a forward-looking expectation, but many people felt like they needed the healthy changes to thrive. So finding a way to cultivate optimism is the key, right? Because not everybody's optimistic. So finding that way of cultivating it is a big deal. Another study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Medicine, which I think is really cool because that's it, found that among nearly 400 heart attack patients, the most pessimistic patients were twice as likely to suffer from a serious complication such as a second heart attack, heart surgery, or death in the 4 years following their initial heart attack. Interesting, isn't it? Dr. Forno He's a professor of cardiology at UCLA out in Los Angeles. He says that there's been great interest as to whether psychological factors, including having a positive outlook and feeling gratitude, can impact cardiovascular outcomes. However, this latest study is too small to provide enough information to really tell if trying to get patients to be more optimistic can improve overall outcomes. Bottom line is, if you've got a good attitude, your chances of being healthy are really, really good. And if you have a terrible attitude, you're negative, like negative Nanny, negative Nancy, like you're just going to struggle. It's so funny. I mean, I can sit in a room and when I'm seeing patients, I can sit in a room and the person that walks in that is negative, shoulders are down, face is down, they're the ones that stay sick, and they stay sick over and over and over again. Like they're sick all the time. Their attitude's keeping them sick. My favorite is the one that comes in, they've had like some heart issue and they're so positive. They're like, look, I don't ever get sick. Like, I'm not going to, all this thing is just slowing me down. I've got things to do. I've got people to help. I've got games to play. I've got kids to take care of. I've got grandkids to take care of. Like, I've got all these things. My church, I want to be involved in my church. Like, this thing is slowing me down. They've got such a great attitude. It's like it's a mentality. I think health really, I know it. It starts in the mind. Like, if your mind is healthy, your body's going to follow. If your mind is unhealthy, your body's going to follow. Did you catch that? If your mind is healthy, your body will follow. If your mind is unhealthy, your body will follow. So it's going to do whatever your mind trumps DNA. I really believe this. Now, there's some DNA at a certain level, 5% maybe, that is just untrumpable. Like, it's just, if that's even a word. It's just not, you can't undo the switch, okay, if it was a light switch. But I believe that just about everything else, and the CDC's confirmed it in numerous studies, and your mind controls everything else. They have shown that you can actually change your own DNA by the way you think. That it's crazy how much they have found that you can see that. It's really interesting. So psychosomatic medicine, how the mind affects the body, really strong. I think we're going to see that more and more as time goes on. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call. Or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. That's asarx.com. Now, if you haven't got our free book, we're giving away a free health book. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. And I'm giving you my best-selling hardcover copy for free. The reason I'm doing that is to be a blessing to you, because we love you. We want you to be part of the family. Pay a few dollars on the shipping side, and then we'll get a copy of it. $30 hardback book, we'll send it to you. Totally as a gift. So you can be encouraged, you can read, you can learn. See, that's why I love it. We're just flying out of our warehouse. I mean, I've never seen books fly out so fast as when I started doing this. They told me, Doc, you got to keep doing this. Like, it's crazy. So many people are getting it. So get your copy. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. We will be right back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. We're here for you each and every day to take you from where you are in your current state of health to where you need to be. Lifestyle is the medicine. And if you haven't got a copy of my free book, go to myfreehealthbook.com. It's a hardback copy. We'll send it to you. And all you do is cover a little bit of shipping. But it's flying off the shelf. Like, I cannot believe how many people out of the warehouse, we can't even keep it in stock. So I want to encourage you to get that. It'll be a real blessing to you. And if you read it or you want to get it for somebody else, for anybody that's struggling with their health, it'll be a huge, huge help. It will. And and I really want to encourage you to make sure that you stay on top of your routine and your game plan. And if you don't have a game plan, if you're just like listening to the show for entertainment, you just kind of find it fascinating, but you know you're on 3 medications, you don't exercise, you don't eat right, like, come on. Like this, what we have here is a culture, all right? This is a family. And if you're in this family and you're going to take time to listen to the show, watch it on TV, listen to the podcast, I really want to get you engaged. We have Healthy University, which is our team. That's our tribe. That's our group. It's our classroom. It's our campus. We want you to hop in and join. We've got a private Facebook group that I jump in on and weigh in on and answer questions and hang out with you guys. But it's a group of like-minded people that want to live their potential, and they don't want to settle. And it's not just eating twigs and berries. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's encouraging each other. It's walking with each other. It's going through the tough times and weeding through all of that. Like it's every bit of that. And we want to help you and walk with you through it and see you really crush it and live well. All right. So look at that. Look at Healthy University. Also check out myfreehealthbook.com. 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website, asarx.com. I'm Asa, of course, your host. Let's get over to the phones and talk to Lucy. Hi, Lucy.
I have a couple of questions. My first one is about Hashimoto's. I have it. I'm 71. I've had it since I was about 30. I take Synthroid for it, but nothing ever really makes me feel any better. And the second thing that I wanted to ask about is the last time I went to the doctor, diabetes runs in my family, and they always check me for it. And when they did the pinprick, they didn't do the A1C. They just did one pinprick. Came back 126, which, of course, is the borderline, and the doctor went off the deep end and wanted to put me on insulin and all this stuff. And I've been checking my glucose numbers in the morning and at night, fasting numbers, for about 2 months, and there have been 4 days in that 2 months that I have run in excess of 126. And I'm frustrated with it. I don't know whether or not to believe her or not. I'm scheduled to go to on a road trip to Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks, and just want to know if that is something that I need to be concerned about. I'm going to have an A1C in about a week and a half, but I don't think the results will be back before I go to Washington.
Yeah, I would be frustrated too. I get it. But just understand something, okay? So your lifestyle habits, not for what you've done over the last 6 months, but what you've done over the last 10 years, has led to this point. The body works in about 10-year increments, okay? And a lot of times we look back at our life and like, gosh, I've been eating healthy for the last 6 months, and I'm just doing great. I'm eating broccoli, and I'm exercising, and I'm taking fish oil, and I'm eating salmon and green vegetables. But you don't realize that really it's whatever your condition, whether it's blood sugar or not, it's been building up over time. And it takes time to unwind some of that residual. Now, blood sugar is one of the quicker ones, I got to tell you, versus like an artery that's getting clogged or, cancer and those sorts of things. Those take longer to build, and they take longer time to undo. Diabetes is fairly quick. That's why the A1C is so important, because it shows over about a 3-month period what your blood sugar has been doing. So in this case, it's just time to do a deep dive. Like, it's just time to get really, really serious. And I know they're wanting to put you on the medicine, and I'm not against that, so you know. I'm not an anti-medicine guy. A lot of people think I am, but I'm not. And I really, there's great merit for that if you don't have good lifestyle choices. But if you look at your doctor in the eye and say, look, I'm going to do what it takes to get these numbers down. And he or she is going to look at you and go, okay, great, I want to believe you, but I have to take care of you in these 5 to 10 minutes I've got you in my office to know that what you're doing every single day is going to be okay. And that's why they'll prescribe you the medication, because they know if you take that, at least if you're eating donuts when nobody's looking, that medicine is going to keep you out of trouble. The thing is, people want to take the medicine and eat how they want to, thinking it's going to keep them out of trouble. And that medicine is only a Band-Aid for so long. You'll only be able to take things like glucophage and metformin for a period of time. You keep up your bad habits, you're going to be on insulin. And that is a road that you do not want to go down. I have seen some of the worst cases you've ever seen. We just did a show on the Discovery Channel called Reversed, and I'm a producer on the show and also a host inside the show. You can go check it out if you want to, but one of the contestants out of 5 ended up dying after the show. And it wasn't anything that we did. It was a wound that he had on his leg, and it's a really, really sad story. I miss Roger so much, and he's just a great guy, but he had a really tough attitude, got into a lot of depression, had a wound on his leg, and it wasn't even the diabetes that got him. It was he didn't take care of the wound. And that which was from having his, of course, his good leg. He had one leg amputated because of diabetes, and that was because of diabetes. The second one, though, was because he didn't take care of the wound in the leg. And the diabetes did cause the wound that wouldn't heal, but he just didn't take care of it. And so he went down a tough road. And, we all miss him. His wife misses him, everybody. It's really tough. So it can go the wrong way, but it can go the right way if you make really good choices, okay? And I want to encourage you to do that. Puts another hour in the charts. I want to thank our producer, Mr. Fig, also Derek Allen, John Garrison. Go tell one person something you learned on the show. Together, we can transform the health of our friends, our families, and our communities.
Do you know you could listen to the Asa Rx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the Asa Rx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.